Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ecom Power, the Walmart podcast. Today, I'm extremely excited for today's episode because today we actually have a very successful seller on Walmart who's going to share his success story and tips. And today, we're going to talk about the strategy he used to be successful on Walmart. How did he optimize his listing for success, and how sellers should measure their success. So today's guest is Allie Russo, and he's the co-founder of Ralme. That's a company that mostly manufacture merchandise, and they're actually one of their biggest customer is Walmart. And in the last 6 years, they also started doing their own e-commerce very successfully. So, Ali, where are you? Here
Hello,
you are. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We can share. You had a very exciting week. You have a newborn.
Yes.
How
Thank
does it
God.
feel?
We had a baby last week, and thank God everything's going good.
Yeah, but isn't it's nice that you can step out and take your time to be with the family. I think this is one of the benefits of having an e-commerce and being your own boss, huh?
Being your own boss, having e-commerce where you can do whatever you want from wherever you need to do it, and having the right team to support you in times where you're not around.
Yes.
Definitely. But being in the e-commerce business is great because I could be wherever I want.
Yes.
As long as I
So
have my two monitors and my computer, I'm good.
I know this is why I think most of us are in this business, the flexibility. So I know Ali 2 years, right? Even a little bit more,
Something like
something like
that.
that. We met
I
at the
think
Prosper
two and a
Show.
half years, maybe 2.5 years.
Yeah, wow. And we met at the Prosper Show, and we started working together. And I just sitting here from the side, watching him the last couple of years and seeing one of the most beautiful success story. And I believe that is their mindset that got you to where you're at. And I really hope that today we can inspire more sellers on, how to get to where you're at. And just knowing that there is success on Walmart. Actually, by Walmart data, 25% of all Walmart sellers are making more than 500K a year. And from that 25, there is a really nice percentage that also make more than seven figure a year. So it is real. And I think every seller, if you look at the amount of sellers and the amount of money Walmart have, every seller have the potential to reach seven figures. Do you agree? What do you think about that, Ali?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it depends on where they're starting from. So for me, for example, I started off selling on Amazon, and we built a nice business there. And as soon as we don't fulfill on our own, we only do use FBA. So as soon as Walmart introduced WFS, we immediately signed up for the program, activated our seller account, and started shipping goods in, started listing product. Because at the end of the day, it's always great to be diversified. And on top of it, Walmart's marketplace is relatively new. It's pretty. I like to think of it more like a startup, even though Walmart is far from a
Mm-hmm.
startup. But their marketplace business is more of a startup. So if you get in early on a marketplace that you know is going to become big one day, maybe not as big as Amazon, but maybe yes, or maybe close. So if you get in early and you develop all the history, and you get through all the kinks, and you figure out exactly the right way to operate your business, and you have a seller store that's been around for a long time, you when they grow into what they're expected to grow into, you're one of the premier sellers. I always tell people, if you got into Amazon 10 years ago, how much volume would you be doing right now if you got
Yeah.
into the beginning? So it's the same thing with Walmart. So even though the numbers may not be like Amazon yet, it's definitely worthwhile investment of your time and money to get it figured out and get it ramped up, because as they grow, you're gonna grow with it.
Yeah, I love your point of view because I never thought about it like that as a startup. But it is like as early you get there, you will grow really fast. So
Yeah, like
I
their platform is still not up to date as it relates to the standards that Amazon put in. You know, the standards that Amazon set in terms of the seller center. It's not as robust as Amazon's. Not that Amazon's is great, but it's definitely further along than Walmart's. But you know, you got to work around those things. You know, understanding it's a startup, it's new, but at the same time, it's Walmart, so it's not just a startup. Or maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not going to work. You pretty much know for a fact that they're eventually going to catch up in some capacity. So that's why you know if you see these other marketplaces going up, you may be hesitant to start investing a lot of your time and resources into building it because who knows what they're going to be like.
yeah,
Um, and there's a lot that goes into operating a store on any marketplace, specifically ones that have algorithms that are based on, you know, the search queries and the search results and the keywords and amongst many other factors. So it takes time to learn it, to own it, and to really set up every listing the right way.
yes. I think this is where a lot of sellers fail because they don't take the time to do things right. They come with the mindset of Amazon and they think just to be on Walmart it's enough when you actually need to take the extra steps um, to see the success. Ali, can you tell me a little bit about how did you guys started with e-commerce? Because you used to guys do a lot of retail, used to
Yes,
sell.
so I come from a family business that was in the wholesale industry where they were manufacturing product amongst many different kids' character licenses like Disney and Nickelodeon. And we were selling product to all different retailers. Walmart was actually our number one customer at the time. And it was a family business, my father's business. I was working there, and we started selling things on Amazon, and eventually I started realizing that that it was a strong business that needed full attention. So I left the wholesale company and started focusing on the Amazon business as my full time job. And I was actually started off buying product from the family business, which made it an easy point of entry for me because I didn't have to build these new relationships with vendors, and I actually got good costs because it was a family business. But it ended up becoming a really strong business that we started it around 6 years ago, and we've been growing at a nice rate ever since then. And since then, the family business was acquired by another company, so that source of merchandise went away. Even though now we do buy from some of those companies that still are in business, but we're buying from the market. We're working with vendors on exclusive product for us, and we're also manufacturing directly in China our own fashion line where we don't have to worry about any competitors. The reason why we develop exclusive product with the vendors that have the license rights to these brands is because we spend so much time building our listings and we put so much into it and optimizing it and increasing the rankings and all of it, and then other people get their hands on it, it kind of ruins everything we did. So
Yeah,
that's one of the things we do. We don't. There's a lot of people out there that'll find deals on branded product that's already listed, whether they're getting it from a wholesaler or directly from the manufacturer or from retail arbitrage, and they're jumping on listings, and it's definitely a strong business. I'm not going to say it's not, but that's not our model. Our model is building up our own listings from scratch and developing them into listings that can last us for a long time.
yeah. I see a lot of sellers struggling with sometimes what to sell. And I tell a lot of people, yeah, you can go and resell stuff, but if you really, looking at long term, I think having your own catalog, your own merchandise that you manufacture, and I love that you pointed that because this is such a great tip, and you have experience of doing both, like reselling
Sorry, I'm
and
going to close the door
having
one
your
second.
own. No problem. It's getting a little loud in the background, so
Sorry, I should close the door.
it's okay. So,
Um,
um, so what do you think? What if somebody come right now and ask you like, I'm a new seller. what should I focus on? What you would recommend to him?
New seller completely never sold on marketplace, or someone who's
No,
selling on
just
other
coming
marketplaces.
to Walmart and want to be successful in Walmart.
So what I'll say is this: the online customer for Walmart is relatively similar to Amazon's, but a lot of the Walmart customers are customers from their retail stores, and the retail store customers are always looking for deals and low price. Obviously, Amazon's customers are also looking for the best deals and the best price, but they're not as trained for that as Walmart customers are. Amazon customers are trained for the service, the returns, the Prime. But at the end of the day, the demographic of people shopping on Amazon is very wide from an age and from a household income and expectations. Whereas Walmart, I mean, obviously they're acquiring new customers that are strictly marketplace customers, but their brick and mortar customers that are now shopping online are really looking for the best prices, and they're really shopping. They're mostly coming during the promotional seasons, whether it's holiday or whether it's specific season, a specific category that has a specific peak time where things are being bought. So, for example, we sell a lot of school product, back to school product. So for us, our peak season is July, August. Of course, we sell backpacks all year, but there's a tremendous lift. It's not even close in comparison to the rest of the year. Um, so if you're selling product, if you're looking to sell product on Walmart, there's two different scenarios you could be in. So if you're already selling on marketplaces, or you already have a wholesale business selling to retailers where you have inventory, then you really should try to identify the items that make the most sense and list them in stages, because every listing that you're gonna create and launch takes a lot of time to get up and running and to get optimized and to get working properly and to start seeing sales on. But if you have product that's selling on Amazon already, you really lose nothing in setting up your Walmart store. You spend some resources on getting your listings written the right way. And obviously, from an operational standpoint, you got to be on top of your store, the inventory levels, the pricing, and all the other metrics that they're measuring you on to make sure that you're complying with all of their regulations. They don't have as many regulations as Amazon does yet, but there's still things you got to be paying attention to. So I would recommend using WFS because you rank a lot higher for everything if you're using WFS, and you don't have to worry about shipping on time, returns. Of course, you have to deal with the customer service, but it it saves you a lot of time in house, and it also propels your listings to a higher ranking off the bat because Walmart knows that they can rely on you
Yeah.
for delivering the product to the customers, because at the end of the day, they're doing it. So they rely on themselves. So I would definitely recommend getting started with WFS. Um, I would not recommend copying your Amazon listings over to Walmart exactly. Images you should be able to repurpose, no problem. You don't even have to repurpose them. You could just use the same exact images, assuming they're good images that you have on Amazon from Walmart. But when it comes to the copy, which is both the title and the bullets and the description, but even more so, all the attributes, you really should be rewriting your listings. I know there's a lot of listing tools out there where you can just copy your listing. You could export it from Amazon and just dump it into Walmart. Um, we initially started doing that. Our first round of listings, we started doing that. And then after going to a couple of these trade shows and hearing from experts in the industry like Michal, I learned that the algorithm is different. It's not exactly the same as the way Amazon's is. So you really got to understand the algorithm and you got to cater to it, because while you're talking to the consumer that's reading it, you're still also talking to the algorithm. But you can't only talk to the algorithm, so you got to be able to balance the two. So you got to have like an SEO background, and you have to also have a copywriting background, so that you can merge the two qualities and make sure that you're speaking to both people, both the customer and the algorithm. So I would not recommend rewriting. I would not recommend copying and pasting your listings word for word from Amazon. And even if you did do that, there's still so many attributes that need to be filled out, and the attributes, from what I understand, and again, I could be wrong. It's still relatively new, even though it's a couple of years already. From what I understand, the importance of the attribution on Walmart is more than on Amazon. You know,
Right.
the way their algorithm decides what to show for each search query or each category page is strongly based on the attributes that you put into the back end of your listing. So you want to make sure you get those right, because the reality is once you write your listing the first time and launch it, you're really never going back in there to review it. The copy, the title, the bullet points, the description, yeah, you're reviewing those and you're optimizing them as you think you need to. But really, those backend attributes are things that get hidden from not only from the customer on the site, but also from you as the seller. So you want to make sure you do it properly at the onset, because it has a huge impact on the success of that listing.
Yeah. So actually, my next question was about the strategies you use to be ahead of your competition, but you already said so much. So the WFS, that's a great
WFS
strategy.
is huge.
The optimizing your listing, creating new copy, understanding the
Very
importance
important.
of
Very
attributes. That
important.
this is the things that a lot of seller don't do, and this is how you can really
And
just take the
another
first
another
steps.
thing I didn't mention yet was the pricing and your margins. So
Yes,
from a pricing perspective, you really gotta understand your product and the market for your product and your competition, not only on Walmart if you're selling on Walmart, and not only on Amazon if you're selling on Amazon, but all across the internet, because every one of these marketplaces are reading based on the UPC across, for every single website that exists that might be selling that product, and they'll know if you are priced higher. And in Amazon's case, they'll take you out of the buy box. In Walmart's case, they won't take you out of the buy box, but to my understanding, they'll bring you down in the rankings because they want to incentivize you to offer the best price. So, selling things on Amazon and Walmart, it gets a little tricky sometimes because you had to make sure if you're changing one price somewhere, you got to change it everywhere.
yeah,
So definitely make sure that you're competitively priced. And if you're evaluating new product that you want to maybe invest in, you really got to do your research on what they're selling it for. And a lot of times, Walmart is selling that item themselves, and if not the exact item, they're selling something very similar. So you may think that something is worth 19.99, and on Amazon you can get 19.99 all day. But if Walmart's carrying an almost identical item, maybe a different color or a different character on the product or a different brand, they'll they'll be at 12.99 because they're buying for their stores and throwing it on as 1p. So you got to be very strategic in your pricing, and you have to also be very aware of your fees that you're going to be charged. So if you're selling and you're fulfilling on your own, then it's just a commission. But assuming you opt in for WFS, you have to know what your fulfillment fee is going to be, because that has a direct impact on your margin. And sometimes things are just not worth it when you understand when you look into it and you see how much the fulfillment fee is going to be. And on Amazon, it's easier because on your Seller Central, you're able to see for every SKU that you have what the fulfillment fee they're being charged. So it's very easy to monitor it. But on Walmart, they don't have that yet. So you literally have to pull settlement reports. I do it every 2 or 3 weeks. I have a system in place where we pull it and we just look, and then they'll show you for every single order that was shipped for that item what the fulfillment fee was, and then you'll be able to see if the fulfillment fee is increasing or decreasing, and then maybe opening up a case to get your fulfillment fee down. But even on the onset, you have to measure your product properly. You have to understand how they're measuring it, how their system. They have these Cubiscan machines where like it looks like picture like a big scanner where you put the product on it, and it through I think through lasers it measures exactly the measurements of the item. So like if you have something that comes in a poly bag, you can't measure the item. You got to measure it when it's inside the poly bag, end to end of the poly bag, so you can really understand what they're going to charge you. And then sometimes you'll even be able to identify ways to get that down even before you bought the product. Maybe you're buying it from a factory or from a vendor, and they tell you that it comes in a poly bag and this is the measurement of the poly bag, but maybe they could tape down the sides of the poly bag to make it smaller, which will save you a couple dollars in the fee, which is a
Yeah.
big deal. I mean, depending on your price point, but for me, my price points are in the 20, 30, $40 range. So every 10 cents on the fulfillment fee makes a difference. So it's pretty important
Yeah.
to be on top of your packaging and the way things are packaged so that you can make sure that your fulfillment fees are not getting out of line.
Yeah, that's a great tip because there's mistakes. I one time I found one of my product that they measure it incorrectly because I guess we put the incorrect measurement in the spec sheet, and now I was paying double the cost of the shipping fee. So this is such a great tip that you have to be on top of everything,
Yeah, and
everything.
then from pricing also, it ties back into the Walmart customer. They have a lot of these opportunities to be part of these flash picks, which are
Mhm.
weekly on, I think that the presents are on the homepage. And then there's other campaigns and events that are going on throughout the year. You should definitely be monitoring everything that is upcoming and identifying, specific events or promotions that you could enroll your product in because like we said, Walmart customers are always looking for a deal. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter who they are; they're always looking for a deal. So it's critical.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
during our back to school season, which is still happening right now, we were able to get a handful of products enrolled in the back to school event with extra exposure, and we sold out. I'll just give you an example. We shipped 500 units of a new style into WFS. Normally, we would ship in even during back to school season just to start because you can always replenish. We would ship in maybe 100 pieces, and our account manager at Walmart told us, "No, we need you to commit to 500." We shipped in 500. It was for the July event, which was their version of Prime, which started on Monday, the 10th of July, and we sold out by noon on Monday Eastern time.
Wow.
Shipping 1,000 more units, it's a good problem to have, but we were
Yes.
scrambling because you don't realize how when there's a lot of customers coming onto the site, because obviously Walmart doesn't have as many people coming on as Amazon, but when they have a surge in sessions and in customers coming on, like for reasons like this, for these events, and you are priced the right way and you have the right exposure, the numbers could get crazy.
Yes. Yes, so let's talk a little bit about that because that's something interesting that a lot of sellers don't know that they have all this option to be part of those flash deals and all this promotion. And what's the best part of it? That is absolutely free. Isn't it like the best
Yeah, it's
part?
free and you're getting exposure. So instead of
Yeah.
let's if you're selling a product, instead of relying on someone to type that product into the search results or then going through the categories and browsing for an hour, they're putting you on a page that people are specifically going to, and they're putting a ton of marketing dollars into to drive people there, and you're getting the exposure. It's all about
Yeah.
exposure. You can have the best product at the best
Yeah.
price, the best pictures, but if you're on the 98th page of the search results, don't matter.
Yeah. So one of the things that um, I want to tell everybody's listening, you can be part of that. So not everybody have this option in their account, especially if you're new, you don't have this option. If you selling a lot of different merchandise and it's not really anything, is kind of something that you kind of sell. Um, regularly when there's sales coming in. Only then Walmart is paying attention to you. So especially their focus is on brand, and when you have your own catalog and you build your own catalog and you start selling really nicely, Walmart is paying attention. If you feel like you do have this really good product that can be on flash deal and you have enough inventory, the only thing you need to do is really open a case and ask to be part of the flash deals or to be part of the to be take a part of all this advertisement campaign that they have. So I really recommend, and I think this is one of the things that really helped you grow so fast is entering that all those deals in the right time, and communicating with Walmart, having an account manager that actually help you from the inside. So it's really nice to have
The account
somebody.
manager is a huge thing.
Huge
Um,
thing.
from what I
Yeah,
understand, you can never reach out to them and ask for one. They have to
yeah,
identify you.
yeah,
But they have account managers across every category. That I don't know how many, but in my categories, they have 20, 30 account managers. I have one specific one that I work with, but they work directly for Walmart. They're almost like a buyer. They're
yeah,
working with you on your product assortment. They're even advising you of opportunities of new things to get into that they may need or that they see a white space in. And they're the ones getting you into extra placements that you can't necessarily get into. Um, to me, ever since we got assigned one, our business jumped like crazy. But you can't do anything about it. The only way, from what I understand, that you're gonna get a phone call from them is if you start having sales. So you got to get your product listed. You got to check off all the boxes and make sure that you're fulfilling on time and that your quality score is up, your content score is up. You're making sure you're always in stock in WFS or in your own warehouse if you're fulfilling on your own. And take advantage of the advertising. It's definitely not as robust as Amazon's yet, um, but that's way it's an investment at the onset. Don't get too crazy. Don't lose too much money on it, but it's an investment at the onset to get sales up. And once the sales
yeah,
come up, then that's when you go into the radars of these account managers. And of course, depending on your category and how many other people they may be working with already that's competing with you. But if they don't really have many sellers that they're working with in your space, they they're gonna want you more than you want them, which sounds
yeah,
funny because at the end of the day, you want them very badly.
yeah,
Another big thing is reviews. It's huge for the algorithm. Obviously, reviews are important for the customer so that they're going to understand because they're used to reviews. But the algorithm actually puts a lot of weight on reviews. And one thing that they offer, which so Amazon has the Vine program, which is great. Um, but other than that, they're not letting you solicit reviews and not letting you syndicate reviews. Whereas Walmart, they have their version of the Vine program. It's called the Review Accelerator
accelerator.
Accelerator program. But they also give you the ability to work with some third party partners of theirs that can solicit reviews. And they're not Vine reviews where it says Vine customer. They're actual real reviews. So you're allowed to do that. And you also, if you have your own e-commerce store or any other marketplace outside of Amazon that has reviews, you can syndicate as long as the UPC numbers match and maybe a couple of other checks that they go through. But if you have reviews on your own Shopify site or on Macy's for a specific item and now you're launching it on Walmart, you can syndicate the reviews so that they pull those reviews from there and they put it onto your listing as if you got them on Walmart. Seems crazy because if you're trained to think like an Amazon seller, that seems why would they ever do that? But it makes a lot of sense from their perspective. If the same item is listed on Macy's and it has all these reviews, why would they not want to put it on the listing on Walmart so the customer could read those same reviews because it's the same exact product? So it makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense. But Amazon, your reviews from Amazon, you will not be able to bring over because Amazon blocks it. And knowing that Amazon blocks it, Walmart won't allow it. I know people who try to get their reviews from Amazon onto their Shopify because there's a Shopify tool that you
yeah,
can bring your Amazon reviews onto Shopify, and then from Shopify to Walmart, but they got caught.
yeah, yeah. Don't
Um,
do that.
don't do
A
that.
lot of people doing that.
Yeah, I
And
mean, listen, in the future, at Walmart may tighten up on their reviews policy the same way Amazon is. Years ago, Amazon was a lot more loose about it. You were able to buy reviews, you were able to solicit reviews, and now you're not because they got to a point where they didn't think they needed it anymore, and
yes,
so now they're making you only earn your authentic reviews that came from Amazon. But they have the Vine program, which is good. So Walmart has their version of it. But
yes,
take advantage of the other ways to build up on the reviews because not only does it help the customer feel comfortable with you, but it also helps tremendously with the algorithm. There's a company that we use called Sozie, Sozie, where they are the facilitator. Oh, where did it go? I'm sorry. Where they are the facilitator of getting you these reviews. So they have a community of people that they send product to, and that person goes on to your Walmart store, buys it, and then leaves a review as if they were a regular customer, and you're paying Sozi X amount of dollars per review. The one thing to keep in mind is that that reviewer can ultimately return it if they wanted to, and then you end up losing that sale. But otherwise, it's a great way to get reviews.
Yeah.
There might be one or two other companies out there like them that are doing the same thing with Walmart, but we're using Sozi and we're very happy with them.
There's Bazaar Voice. So there's two right now that, and again, Walmart, when you work with Walmart and an account manager, they usually will be the one that refer you. It's kind of, I think with Sozi, I had a conversation with them. Customer cannot just come to them.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, they have to be referred by an account manager from Walmart to enter and
Got it.
work with Sozi. Yeah, that's what I understand from Sozi. That is very interesting. But definitely there is, if you want to get reviews, there is ways, couple ways. Make sure you picking up the right ways. I think what I love about this is that in this point of time, Walmart is want to do everything they can to help you. So they let you syndicate review, they let you use those programs. These things is not going to stay forever, because in some point of time it's going to be a lot of sellers, a lot of the cattle is going to be very big, the it's all going to grow, and those things going to change. So as early as you start with Walmart, as early as you get your listing, as early as you get your reviews, you are going to be set up for a lot of success. We're going to take a quick break for a note from our sponsors. Kels?
Are you struggling with your Walmart marketplace business? Do you need help from a skilled and reliable virtual assistant? Well, look no further than Virtual Assistant Academy, or VAA Philippines. VAA specializes in locating, screening, training, and supporting high quality Walmart VAs in the Philippines. Their VAs receive extensive Walmart training and ongoing professional development and are committed to long term working relationships with you. Partner with VAA and experience the peace of mind knowing that you have a dedicated Walmart trained VA who's up to date with the latest tools and trends in the dynamic Walmart marketplace. Head over to VAAphilippines.com and let VAA match you with your ideal VA today.
All
By the
right.
way, speaking about VAs, I definitely recommend people working with VAs in the marketplace business. Very valuable. They can help you with a lot of your tasks that save you
Yes.
time and that save you from hiring people and locally to come in and pay their salary and have a desk for them and have to see them every day. So
Yes.
VAs are great. I never worked with VAA, but I've heard a lot about them.
Yeah, they're great. But I've been in your office. You got a great team. So you guys are very lucky. And it's all about that. I think building successful business is knowing to hire the right people. It's a big part of it.
For sure.
So let's talk about again when you launch a new product. So when you launch a new product, what are the factors you consider to ensure that this product launch is going to be successful, and this product is going to sell?
Um, it's really two simple steps. It's first of all, you want to browse the marketplace as if you're a customer and see if you think that that your product is if there's a need for your product. So either it doesn't exist, or it exists differently, but you like yours, or it exists but you have it at a better price. So you want to first get a feel for the need and for how it will look when it's sitting on the search results or on the page on Amazon, to just make sure that you're not oversaturating something. Even though yes, there are times where something is saturated, where there's a saturated market for a product, but doesn't mean you can't necessarily go into it. But you want to do that. And then another way is another important method there is to do there's third party tools like Helium, and there's a few other of those that we use, that we go and we look to see how many people are searching for it. And
Yeah.
that's obviously a critical component, because there may be, if you only take the first step and you see, okay, here's one product, there's 100 of them available, and here's the second product. There's two of them available. So you would think, oh, let's go for the second product. There's only two. We have no competition. But maybe the search volume for the first one is 1,000 times more the second one. So there's a supply and demand factor, which you kind of getting from looking at the search volume, which is giving you the demand, and then looking to see what actually exists. There are tools out there that tell you how many competing products there are, but I like to see it myself and visualize it and compare it to mine because there could be 100 competing products, but 10 of them may be ugly, 20 of them may have terrible reviews, and 50 of them may have triple the price. So it's
Yeah.
important to spend the time to evaluate each and every item that you go after, and obviously pricing. So you may sell a T-shirt and realize that after the fees, it's not worth it. So maybe you want to bundle it and make it a 4-pack. Things like that. So there's a lot of factors that go into the decision of which product you want to go forward with. It's the competition, it's the demand, it's the pricing that you're going to go out at, which obviously has to do with your competition, and then it's also your fees and how much you're going to profit on it at the end of the day. There's also ways to look at existing listings in these tools to see how many units they're selling of that item. And even though you're bringing a different item, if it's very similar, you can kind of get a gauge for how, what you could possibly do if this item hits and you end up being successful with it. So it's a lot of different things. You got to know your product, you got to know your industry, you got to know your competitors, and you got to know your customers.
Yes. I love those tips. Great tips. I hope everybody's listening, taking some notes. So how do you measure success on Walmart? Like when you feel like you're doing the right, you're doing a good job on Walmart. Is it like purely based by your sales? Is there other metrics that you
Sales
track?
is obviously big, but if you're going to compare it to something like Amazon, then you're never going to think you're successful, and you're never going to end up continuing it. And then in 10 years from now, when Walmart catches up to some extent, you're going to be wishing you
Yeah.
continued looking at it. But also, you want to always look at your content, your listing quality score. It's very important. Um, it's what's going to keep that listing strong forever. But yeah, sales. Sales, and you want to monitor traffic. How many sessions there are to the site, what your conversion rates are, so you can see, okay, maybe I have a lot of sessions here, but the conversion rate's low, so I can improve my page, or maybe it's appearing high in the search results, but it's not getting clicked on, so maybe I have to update my main image, or maybe I have to see who else I'm sitting next to on that page to why they're not clicking on me. Maybe my price is too high, or maybe I didn't do a good enough job explaining it.
You know what? We didn't talk about ads, advertisement. I know you guys advertising. I know when I'm doing searches for backpacks, you're always number one.
I
I always
find
love
right
to see
now
the
that
results. It's
their
like,
auto campaigns are really what's we're having success with. We're not advertising much, I'll be honest.
yeah,
I don't like to spend money on something unless I 100% understand it. And Amazon's campaign manager is a lot more extensive, and you have a lot more capabilities and control over what's happening. So I have no problem spending more there because I know that I'm controlling it. Whereas Walmart's platform is still not up to speed yet, so you have less control over what types of ads you want to serve and what types of keywords you want to bid on. Um, that being said, I have had more success so far with my auto campaigns, which is even easier for me because I don't have to do anything. So I don't have to do so much. But I don't want to necessarily talk so much in the advertising because I don't think that I'm the right person to talk about the advertising.
yeah. But I I think a lot of sellers would like to be in your spot, and his spot is that when customer is searching for his products, um, even just a very broad search like backpack for boys, one of your backpack will always show up on top of the page organically, and that's where you guys want to be. And if you guys follow up everything Ali was sharing today, just do that and you will get there. It's really possible to show up organically. And I'm just always enjoying looking and see how you come up and show up and seeing your success and see your growth. Like your growth was, I think it was, yeah, wasn't it 2 years ago that from the 30 day to the other 30 day, you growth in like 1,000% or something. It was like insane growth. It's like like from 5 figures to I think you got like 6 figures so super fast, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we had the right product, we had the right team, we had the right people like Michal helping us.
Thank you.
Um, by the way, Michal does an unbelievable job at writing listings.
Thank you. Thank you.
She is, I mean, I don't know how she does with her other clients, but with us, our content scores are extremely high in the 95 plus range percent wise. And it takes a lot of load off our shoulders knowing that our listings are in the right hands. So Michal definitely does a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's a combination of everything. Your, like I say, your mindset, how you come to Walmart, how you see that it is a startup that you have to invest. Also, the right product. You definitely have very, very good product that is a perfect fit for Walmart customers. Walmart customers are changing and starting to understand they can find everything on Walmart. But like you said, a lot of customers that come right now to find those deals, the seasonal items, and I think this is really why you guys are so successful. And you are constantly growing your catalog, so and creating new listing, and that I think is the key to success. And I'm just enjoying watching you guys how you grow.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. I think we might have a couple of questions if you have a couple more minutes.
I have a couple minutes.
Yeah, all right. So
All
let's see
right.
if we have
So
questions.
we do. We'll try and get through as many as we can. All right. So from Facebook user, does the delisting of Walmart's official Shopify app affect your business strategy at all?
Can you say it again? Oh, does the delisting of Walmart? I haven't used Shopify at all, so I don't know if this question applies to me.
Yeah, I think we were
I
talking
don't.
about the syndication, so you may be asking about that. But
Oh, oh,
I
oh.
think maybe I think the question is because when you have a Shopify store, you can connect your Walmart and use that to create listing, to do your orders. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't use
it's nice
Shopify
on
at
that.
all, so it doesn't really apply to me. I apologize.
Yeah. Just a quick note from me. I think you should do everything through your Walmart account. Create listing through your Walmart account. Fulfill through your Walmart account. Anything that is connected can create a lot of problems on the
Yeah,
way.
I agree.
I did test it years ago. We used to submit listings from Shopify to Walmart, and what happened is that it didn't took the attributes. So now I need to go and manually put attributes, and it just use spec sheets. If you want the best results on Walmart, is the only way is using spec sheet and fill them correctly and monitoring your score. That's what I think. Anything you want to add?
No, I think you said it good.
All right.
All right. Next one. Trendy products. Approximately how long does a trendy product last, and when do you know when to kill it?
It really depends. It really depends. Like we had a small line of hand sanitizers and face masks during COVID, and it just it really depends on the product and how long you think the trend's gonna last. The tie dye is a trend. It's been going on for a couple of years now. I don't necessarily think it's gonna die, but the sanitizer is died. So the fidget poppers they go quick. So by the time you realize it's a trend and get the product manufactured and get it in, the trend's already over maybe. So you really got to know the trend. You got to understand what's causing the trend and how previous trends like that, how long have they lasted. Um, so it's really you can't really give a straight answer to that because it really depends on the product and the trend.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. You gave great advice for a new Walmart seller that was selling on Amazon. What guidance would you share with a brand new Walmart seller regarding sourcing the winning products that doesn't have pre-existing relationships with wholesalers?
So I'm assuming this means sourcing it on like an Alibaba or somewhere else in China. I would really spend a lot. You got to make a list of a couple different categories you're thinking about going into, or categories that you have the opportunity to source, and doing a lot of research on what is available on Walmart and even on other marketplaces or websites, because even though it may not be on Walmart now, by the time you get the goods, it may be on Walmart. So you want to know what's out there and what price points people are looking for. And if it's fashion related, you have to understand what trends or what prints or what things they're looking for, what styles, what shapes. But you do a lot of research on what's available in the market, and you look at the search volume, which gives you the demand of that product. So, like if you're selling a lady's handbag, there's 100 different things they could be searching for to get to that search result. So you want to, do the research and come up with the list of all different things people are searching for and how much search volume there is on a monthly basis, and using that you could figure out where the right product, which product is the right ones to go into.
Yeah, I love this advice. Look what people are searching and build something around it that
The best thing
doesn't
about
damn.
e-commerce, and specifically Amazon and Walmart and these marketplaces, is you have clear data on what people are looking for.
Yeah,
Like I won't use specifics, but I was doing some keyword research on something, and I ended up noticing that a specific type of brand was having a lot of search volume, but there was nothing available on Amazon at all.
type of
So
what?
there was nothing available. So like, I don't want to say the name of the brand
Oh,
or the product, but you may identify that something has a lot of search volume, but that it doesn't
no,
exist
that.
at all. And you're like, okay, and then you see, if you type it into the search results on the front end of the marketplace, you'll see that a lot of similar things are there, but not the exact item. So that could help you identify areas, products or types of products that are really lacking on the marketplace.
Yeah, I do it almost every day, doing a lot of research. I can tell you guys, there is thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of opportunities on Walmart. Is really a lot. All right. Um,
Okay, we
is
have
there one last
one more
question?
question. One more question,
All
if
right.
that's okay. With you having experience in both Walmart and Amazon, what is the biggest difference in the algorithm for organic ranking?
Good question. I would say that. So, okay, one thing with Walmart that we didn't talk about is, so there's three things that attribute to your listing quality score. There's your content score, your offer score, which is being in stock, and your price, and your reviews score. And depending on the product category, they have different rankings of all those three. So sometimes the content is number one, the reviews are number two, and the offer is number three. Sometimes it's in a different order. So when you go into your listing quality score dashboard, you'll be able, if you click on the item and you click into the item, it'll open up a new window, and it'll show you on the right side of the screen the way that they, the levels of importance of each of those three. Whereas Amazon, so I think with Walmart, obviously those three things are very important, but also your attribution is very important. Um, um, Reviews are also, I don't want to say it's weighted more on Walmart than on Amazon, but because there's so many products on Walmart that don't have any reviews, it could make a huge difference if you do have the reviews, because it sets you apart from everyone else that is just listing a new product and are waiting for reviews. Amazon's algorithm, the way Amazon's algorithm reads, from what I understand, Michal, you could correct me, is the title is the most important, then the bullets, and then the description is least important. Whereas on Walmart, the title is most important, and then the description is second most important, and the bullets are the third most important. Just the way that their algorithm reads your listing. Every time someone searches something on their site, in a split second, it searches every single listing that's on the platform and reads it in order for it to know what to show the customer. So Amazon's reads the bullets first, and I believe that Walmart's reads the description before the bullets. So that's definitely something to consider when writing your listing and deciding which keywords you want to put where. And then, like we said, the listing quality score, which is made up of the content, the to offer, and the reviews have a lot of weight to it. Pro seller badge, which is similar to prime seller on Amazon, is very important. So I don't know if there's necessarily a difference there, but there's less pro sellers on Walmart as a percentage of sellers than there are prime sellers on Amazon. So that could definitely be a leg up. It could give you a leg up on your competition if you are a pro seller. Um, I'm sure that there's a lot of different things that these algorithms factor in, and they don't really share it with anyone. So, and they're constantly changing it. So you can kind of not guess, but you can kind of get a feel for it, and then you speak to some experts in the field. They know more because maybe they've been doing it for longer. But generally, it's relatively similar to Amazon. Just like I said, certain things get more focused than others on Walmart versus on Amazon.
Yeah, I think your answer was really, really good. The only thing is that on Walmart you have the advantage of the score that you don't have it on Amazon, because Walmart is kind of promise you, or we already see that the algorithm look at the score, and it's a big factor on how you're going to be placed. So that's the benefit on Walmart, that on Walmart, if you look at your score, if you optimize, if you do everything correctly, there is no way that you're not going to come slowly and rank better and better with time and get to the
And you have to
first
realize most sellers are lazy. So they'll either have some sort of third-party listing tool that just pulls their listings from other places and lists them for them. Whereas if you're not lazy, you're writing your listing the right way.
Yeah.
And then focusing on all the attributes and everything that needs to be inputted and done to get your listing quality score up and to get your organic rankings up, you're already at a huge advantage because it's still so in its infancy stage. And as the traffic continues to grow, you become one of the premier sellers.
Yes, yes. Great answer. I just had one of my friend. We did a listing for her. She sent it to WFS. She searched for the item. She told me she's like in the page number 5 or 6. I told her, now the inventory is there. It's gonna start looking that you're in stock, and then the next day she called me. She's like, "Oh, I'm on the first page." I was like, "Okay." It's really because the quality and the fact that she had WFS really brought her to the first page just organically without even having one sales yet. So, and I see it really over and over again. But again, it's each product and each category can be very different. But Ali, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Sharing all this amazing knowledge you have. And thank you guys. And we will see you next Thursday in our live Q&A. And please, if you like, share and subscribe. And thank you.
Thanks, Michal. It's been a pleasure.